All right, welcome everybody. Okay, so there's a few things that I wanted to go over today just to make sure we're fully set up starting. So that way, starting Monday, when the, I guess, live class section starts, that we're kind of hitting the ground running. We don't have to worry about anything. One thing I did want to quickly touch on, and let me make sure that it's solid. I had this guide for what's it called? I had this guide for Zoom. Let's see, sorry. I'll find it in a second. We'll go through Zoom in a little bit later. So the two things that I wanted to go through today, the big one is that we're gonna actually write some code today for the first time all together, and because we're gonna go through a few different simple concepts within Ruby, like go through like variables, different operators, maybe conditionals, some loops, and etc. Nothing too crazy, but just to kind of show you guys what it looks like and make sure. And really, the bigger thing to me is to make sure that everybody can run the Ruby files and get the output, etc. That's the big thing. Like I'm not expecting anyone to be an expert at any concept today. That's going to be later. And then the other thing I did want to share with you guys is that we will have a TA. Her name is Alana Cruz. She's from my last class. And so the way TAs work is, depending on the class size, we'll either have one to two TAs, and basically they're going to be coming from the previous class. So for example, for you guys' class from the previous class, I have her name is Alana, but I call her Lana for short. She'll be helping out. And then for the next class, if one of you guys are interested, one or two, depending on the size, then that's where that opportunity will be there for you guys as well. So Lana will be here Monday. By here, she'll be in the call with us, and she'll be Monday through Friday. She'll be with us. So feel free, any questions you have, feel free to ask her the same as me. She's actually really, really good. And then there's two other of the students that they did want a TA, but they couldn't dedicate the time because they have different responsibilities. And so, but they did want to help out kind of as they have available. So you'll also probably see Jess and Adriana. But Lana is going to be the main TA, and then Jess and Adriana will occasionally kind of be coming in and out. Um, let's see. The other thing I quickly wanted to touch on is so starting Monday, just as a reminder, we'll be doing Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. And I want to say it is possible that there are times that we go a little bit past 9 p.m., but I'll do my best to kind of stay on track to make sure we don't. But it just kind of depends on how fast or slow we're going through whatever it is we wanted to go through for that day, whatever is scheduled. The other thing is I did mention to you guys about that in-person stuff, like where we'll meet up, like maybe you guys said, I think once a week. So we're not going to start that next week. Potentially we'll start that in the next month or so. I'll keep you guys updated, but basically the office that we have in Agania, I want to get the rest of the furniture to make sure, it's comfortable. There are some tables and stuff, but I want to make sure it's good for you guys. That way when we get there, we don't have to worry about anything like that. Um, and then the last thing I quickly want to touch on before we actually get into some Ruby stuff is just I want to make sure, not to say anyone has any issues with this, but I just want to make sure we're all communicating. If you're running late, let me know. Shoot me a message, WhatsApp, Slack, email, give me a call, whatever it is you want. And as long as we're on the same page, no one will have any issues. Again, I know life happens. I might, if there's one day, one every now and then I might have something with my daughter. I'll try not to, but I shouldn't. I don't usually, but let's say something comes up, I'll shoot you guys all a message in Slack. I'll just at all you guys so you guys get the notification, etc. And just vice versa. So just to make sure that we're all kind of keeping each other accountable. Okay, so now we are going to go through some concepts in Ruby. So let me go ahead and do this. And again, I want to give you guys kind of a taste of like an intro to Ruby. But then the other thing to me, and kind of the bigger idea with why I want to do this is because I want to make sure that everybody can, what's it called, run these different things on their computer. To me, that's the bigger, more important thing. Okay. So, and also the other thing is that I'm basing it off of the Google Classroom of what we went through, or not what we went through, but what's up there. specifically for days 6 through 10. So we're going to go through what is Ruby, what is a variable, etc., concatenation versus interpolation. We'll do some not interpolation, some operations. So basically adding, subtracting, multiplication, division. We'll go through a conditional, maybe a loop. And depending on how fast or slow, again, we go through this, we might get through most of it, we might not. I'm not really worried about getting through all this. We're eventually going to go through this all like next week or in the coming weeks. But again, just want to go through with all to give us a taste. Okay, so to start out, I'm going to open up VS Code. So let me go ahead and do this. And so I'm just going to delete these test folders that I created because I don't need them anymore. So rm-rf, rm space dash rf, it's remove, and then I forget what rf stands for, but basically this is the way to delete a file. So now if I do ls, it's a list. Now we can see that these folders or these files, it's to delete a folder or a file. So now we can see these folders that I had are no longer there anymore. So it's a command though that I would like for you guys to all be careful with in the scenario that you guys do use it, just because this isn't like for example, for Macs, and I'm pretty sure for Windows as well, there's something like this. But if I pull up Finder right now, let me go open space period. So if I pull up Finder and I'm just going to create a folder, I'm going to call it test. If I delete this, I'm technically moving it to the trash. And so I can recover that. I can recover that folder or that file, whatever it is, because it's in my trash technically. If I'm doing rm space dash rf, remove, again, I'm sorry, I forget the name of it or what it stands for. This is, the terminal is kind of expecting that we're what some people might call like a power user per se, but basically like we're running a command and it's expecting us to know what we're running. So, and basically what I mean by that is what, again, when we run this command, we're going to delete it for good. There's no recovering that. So just keep that in mind when you do or don't use it, or when if you ever have to use this command. So again, it's rm space dash rf, and that's to delete a file. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to create a new folder for this. I'm just going to call it pre-work because we're in pre-work right now. And so within here, I'm just going to open it up in VS Code. Cool. So now I just have a blank folder and I'm just going to create a file. I'm going to call this file practice.rb. So practice, basically I named it practice and I put .rb because it's a Ruby file. And then I'm also just going to open up the terminal on the bottom. Again, more than likely, if I'm doing something really simple, I'll probably use the built-in VS Code terminal. But as we're doing more complex things, I'll use the like a separate terminal, like a one that you guys have been seeing me use before. Okay, so the first thing I kind of want to touch on is like, what is Ruby? Like, what is a language? And so the way that you can think about Ruby, and also, sorry, before I start with this, at any point during this time, feel free to like speak up if you have a question, want me to slow down, want me to re-go through a concept. I am going to have exercises for you guys to try everything it is that we go through right now. But there are times where I kind of tend to kind of speak fast. And so feel free, just let me know, hey, do you think you can go through that one more time or whatever it may be. There are genuinely no dumb questions. Like, I want you guys to ask questions. Like, seriously, I feel like the more questions you guys ask, the better. Because then the more I'm going to know we're engaging, the more I'm going to know you're like, I can help you. I can kind of I can adapt to the way that you learn best as well, kind of thing. So feel free to let me know. Okay, so back to like, what is Ruby? What is a language? And so again, so I briefly touched on this before. Programming itself is basically a way for us to tell the computer to do something. We're giving the computer a set of instructions to follow, for it to do something somewhere. And so that's pretty much what programming is again, we're just talking to a computer. And so what a language like Ruby is it's basically it's the, I guess, syntax or the wording that we're going to use to basically that the computer understands. The computer doesn't understand plain English, but it does understand certain or different programming languages. And so one of the programming languages that we're going to learn and we're going to start with is called Ruby. Ruby, I really, really love Ruby because it's so beginner friendly. Installing it is relatively easy. Um, I think it's pretty easy actually. No one really had any issues with installing it. So installing it's really easy. And then like it's really, really like the syntax is so friendly. And I guess what I mean by that is like, for example, even if I was to just pull up some code, or I'm gonna pull up like Java example, pull up some Java code, pull up some Ruby, pull up some Ruby, and then let's pull up some like C++. And I just want to like show you guys what Ruby looks like relative to these other ones. And so let's just go to an image. So this isn't the best example. I don't think this is a good example at all. But to me, Java doesn't look very user friendly, especially for someone who doesn't know what's going on. It's like there's a lot of curly brackets, there's these semicolons. It's like, what is this? What is a private? What is public? What are these things? What does it mean? Of course, as you get into it, you'll have a better understanding. And similar with C sharp, C sharp, C++, C in general, it's kind of similar to Java in the like the syntax to me is like it's it's kind of intimidating in a sense as well to me. Versus with Ruby, to me, Ruby kind of it reads very easily. And like if we guys look relative to the other examples that I was showing you, like there's no extra semicolons, there's no extra curly brackets or anything like that. It's like, okay, this is a class. And so def is Ruby's way of saying we're creating a function, we're defining a function. So we're creating a function called initialize. And there's a title, a description, a URL, and there's another function called testing initializer. And so to me, this looks a lot more user friendly and readable than this or this. Um, nothing against Java and C++ or any other language. I think all languages, like there's a use case for it. But to me, Ruby is the most beginner friendly language that I've found. Python is another one that's fairly beginner friendly, but I found that even Python, it it gets pretty complex pretty quick. So I really, really enjoy Ruby. And on top of that, like when we start doing Rails, which is the framework built on Ruby, it's really, really beginner friendly as well. Like I think it's literally like their slogan or their thing is like it was made for developer happiness. It's made for developers to have an easier time. Okay, so sorry, long rant about Ruby. I'll give you guys some resources about that later and other stuff on why I think Ruby's super cool. But yeah, so Ruby. It's a language that I think, was built in the 90s. So to start out, the first thing that I want to share with you guys within Ruby is the concept of a variable. And so a variable, we can think of a variable as basically it's some sort of, let's say, word or some sort of, yeah, we'll say a word that we're assigning to a value. So for example, let's say I say name equals Leon. And within, actually, maybe before we get to this, actually, there's there's a few different things that I want to show you guys, even before we get to that. We're going to go through something called data types. So there's different types of data within programming. One of the most common ones that you'll see is something called a string. A string is basically, let's just say it's a bunch of characters. It's anything within, pretty much it's anything within quotes. Whether that in Ruby, it's whether you could use double quotes or you can use single quotes. But basically anything within here is technically a string. And so that's really what a string is. It's just it's just like a word or words. Another one is going to be an integer. An integer is basically numbers, but it's specifically in Ruby, it's whole numbers specifically. And then after that, there is what we call a float. A float is basically, it's also a number, but it's a number with numbers with a decimal place. With a decimal place. And then after that, another thing we have is a Boolean. Boolean is just true or false. It's literally just true or false. That's all it is. It can be true or it can be false. And so these are the four ones that we're going to go through to begin with, before we go through any others. I think to me, these are the most important ones. So a string. So an example of a string is, for example, Leon. And so in Ruby, the way to print something out to the terminal is by using puts. Puts stands for put string. It literally means like pretty much print. So I'm going to say puts, and then I'm just going to print out a string. So I'm going to, for example, puts Leon. And if we remember, a string is basically a bunch of characters within quotes. So anything within this quotes is considered the entire string. Even if there was multiple words, Leon Shimizu, for example, both of this is technically one singular string. So this is a string, or technically, sorry, this is a string. Puts is Ruby's way of printing it out. And so to run this code, we're basically going to say Ruby, saying I'm running a Ruby file, and then I'm going to run the name of the file. So practice.rb. And so I'm going to click enter, and now we see it says Leon Shimizu. Or it says, for example, a lot of times people's first thing is it says hello world. If I go up here and I click the up arrow, run it again, it says hello world, etc. And so I can do this for integers, floats, booleans, etc. And so just to show you guys, we'll do an integer. So an integer is a number, as I mentioned, and so it's not going to have quotes. If I put quotes around here, now it becomes a string, which is different. So I'm not going to put quotes around it to make it a number. And if I run it, we see it says 10. It says hello world first, and then it says 10. And then from there, let's do a float. Let's do 999. And then the last one we're going to do is a Boolean. So let's just go true. So let's run this. Cool. So we see hello world, we see 10, we see 999, and we see true. So another thing that I want to point out before I give you guys an exercise to try this out yourself and just print some stuff out is Ruby runs in order. But what I mean by in order is it's going to literally start from the top of the file, and then it's going to go down. So for example, we started with up here, but technically these are, I'm sorry, I didn't even mention, but these are what we call comments. A comment is basically a way for us to say, hey, computer, don't read this. So it technically started up here and it was like, okay, nothing, 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 nothing. And then it's okay, cool. Print out hello world. That's why I printed out hello world, print out 10, print out 999, print out true. And so, sorry, a few different things going on here, but I just wanted to make sure I shared that because it's literally going in order. And if any of these like errored out for whatever reason, it would have stopped because it's going in this specific order. Sorry, a lot going on there. Questions, comments? Is this making sense? You guys are good?
Yes. Sorry, did you enter anything before 1 to 5?
1 to
What's that
5.
little character before you started typing? Or
Yes.
that's
So
that's how it is.
I put a hashtag. So in
Okay,
Ruby,
okay.
and
Hashtag.
great question. So every language has their own version of a comment. In Ruby, it's a hashtag. And so anytime that you put a hashtag, it automatically, we can see it turns green because automatically now it's a commented out. So if I ever say, oh, comment that out, I basically mean put a hashtag in front of it. And so now if I run this again, now it doesn't say hello world because it was commented out. So great question. And a little hotkey that you guys can use for that is if you do command question mark, it'll automatically comment or uncomment it. And so I'm just continuously putting command question mark. Cool. So, so now I'm going to give you guys an exercise to try it out yourself before we move on. Let's do this. Cool. Let's do this. Exercise. Print out on 4 different lines. Print out the following 4 different lines. Hello world or off a day. My name is whatever your name. You're going to print out 100, and then you're going to do a Boolean 99, let's say. I mean, not a Boolean, a float. And then the last one you're going to do is, let's say, true, for example. And then after that, then the next thing I want you to do is basically, actually, we'll hold off. We'll just let everyone try this first. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'd like for all of you guys. So usually when we do exercises, the way that the class is gonna be structured a lot of times is I'm gonna go through a concept, and then after that, I'll provide you guys with an exercise. For example, this simple one, and then I'm gonna ask you guys to share your screen, so that way you guys can then try the exercise, and I can see what you guys are doing. You guys can walk through it, and I can help as needed. And then from there, then you guys will stop sharing your screen and we'll go to the next thing and kind of just keep going back and forth. Yeah, so that's the way that it's roughly going to go. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'd like for you guys to start sharing and you guys can open up VS Code and let's walk through this together. And if needed, let me know. We can walk through creating a file, whatever it is that you need to do. Perfect. Cool. Hey, Kiko, one thing right off the back is go ahead and like double click on this and we're gonna rename this to RB instead of RV. Like double click or right click. Yeah. And go to rename and then just perfect. Perfect. There you go. Now we can see the syntax highlighting. We can also see that this red means that it's a Ruby file, which is perfect. Cool. And so the other thing we'll do real quick is go ahead and highlight everything. So just select everything. And then I want you to use that command question mark that I was saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. And so I want you to do command question mark and it's gonna comment, it should comment everything out. Is it command or control in Windows? On Mac, it's command. If it's not command, feel free to try control. Okay, cool. There we go. Nice. So now we can see those are all commented out. And then in your terminal, you'll just need to make sure you do WSL to turn on Ubuntu.
The
Nice.
WSL is just a command, right?
Correct. Yeah. So you just type WSL in the terminal and then you just click enter. Yeah, we'll just give it a second. It's running. And actually, I think I might have you guys all run this. Yeah, that's fine. Disregard those command not found things for now.
Sorry, where did you slack those exercises again?
Yes, it's in Slack in the exercises channel.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I was taking care of something. Kiko, go ahead and first, I want you to run this command first. Do cd space, and then do tilde. It's right above tab. Okay, that's perfect. Right there. Yeah. Okay, cool. Basically, I wanted to make sure that you were in the root directory. So you were like in this other folder to begin with, and I wanted to put you here in the home of your, like the Ubuntu side of your computer. And so I'm going to give you guys a command to make sure that that happens all the time. But yeah, don't worry about that for now. You're good to do that. You're good to continue. And then Ron, what you're doing is, okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. So to run it, you're going to do Ruby space. And so this is for everybody. Actually, here, I'm going to Slack this command. To run a Ruby file, you're going to run Ruby space name of file. So it's going to, perfect. Okay. Let's see. For you, Ron, looking at your stuff. Ron, do an ls real quick. I want to see what's in there. Okay. So what you need to do, Ron, so what happened is you have a folder named test. And so you're gonna go into that folder named test by going change directory test. So cd space test. Now do an ls. Perfect. So there's that test.rb. So now you can run ruby test.rb. Perfect. Okay. So it didn't print anything out, but that's okay. What's going on is, let's see. For one, the first thing I want you to do, Ron, is so anything within the quotes is going to be a string. So technically, your string starts on line 2 and it ends on line 6. Instead, let's go ahead and put the end quotes right there, and then let's delete that quotes right there. And so go ahead and put the double quotes. So you can go ahead and put is Ron still, and then you're just going to put, yeah, perfect. And then you're going to delete these quotes right there. Perfect. Now try running this file again, and let's see if it runs. Okay, it's not running. So let's try this. Do cat cat. I want to test something. I mean, it's running and it's not erroring out, which is good, but oh, I know why. I know why. So if you look at the top of your thing, it's not saved. Do a control S. Yeah, just type in or do control S. That will save the file. Now go down here and rerun it. So basically, by run the file, do ruby test.rb. Perfect. There we go. And so, Ron, for you, what I want to do real quick is let's go into the settings JSON because one of the settings that I had you guys that I have you guys add is basically auto save. So that way you don't have to do that control S every single time. So let's go into your settings JSON. We're going to go right here. Let's go click out of that real quick. Perfect. And just go right here, settings JSON right there, this file. Perfect. Okay, now scroll up. Okay. Scroll up a little bit more. Okay, so I see what is happening here. So here's what I want us to do. So we are going to scroll up a little bit more. Scroll up to the top of the file. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna starting right here, go in between that line, in between these two curly brackets. And basically I want you to go all the way to the top, like do select or whatever shift and select everything or click. And I want you to delete that. Yeah, so you can just go ahead and click, yeah. And then from there, now basically everything after line 13 down, delete it all. Yeah. So and then just click delete or whatever it is. Okay. Now I want you to do Command S or Control S. Control S. Okay, cool. Sorry, you can change your theme back. Do Command or can do Control minus to zoom out if you need. You can do it as many times as you feel you need. And so now let's go and go back to file.rb, or I mean test.rb. Go to test.rb. Sorry, not file. Cool. So now what I'd like for you to try out is try making a change. Like you can add anything you want or delete anything or whatever it is. Cool. And so now click into here, click into your terminal. And so we should see this white dot go away. Perfect. We do. So basically that means that now your thing is saving automatically. It's saving on focus change is what the technical term is called. All right, cool. I'm gonna let you mess around with this a little bit more. Go ahead and try printing different stuff out, messing around with it. And I'm gonna take a look. Let's see. Adrian, I haven't checked yours yet, so let me take a look. Okay, cool. Adrian. Okay. Okay. So Adrian, for you, could you do, let's see. So the issue here, Adrian, what's going on is that this file is technically somewhere else. I know that because it says home Adrian, and this one just says test. So go ahead and reopen up your terminal. Open up a new terminal. Click the three dots right here. Yep. Terminal, new terminal. All right, cool. So now do ls real quick. All right. So do here's what we're gonna do. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Go ahead and close this file out. Just do an X there. And then go ahead and click on, actually, go and click that one more time. Click open folder and do test.rb. Yeah, go ahead and click on that one. You click OK. Okay. Uh, Click on that. Oh, this is a folder name. Okay. To simplify this, Adrian, we're gonna just exit VS Code real quick. Go ahead and yeah, go ahead and close it out. And let's open up a new window of VS Code. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go file. Yeah, file, open folder. Do open folder. Why does it do that? Do show local. Okay, scroll down and let's go to Ubuntu. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Oh, why isn't it showing Ubuntu? Where's it at? Where it's usually at the bottom. Hmm. Uh, where is it at? Okay, I think we can do this. Open up a new terminal. Open up your terminal. I think this will help. Just go ahead and reopen the terminal. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, so what happened is you named this folder test.rb. So what we're gonna do is do cd space tilde, delete the slash. So do cd space tilde one more time. So tilde is right above the tab. It's like that squiggly line. It's like it looks like that. Yep, perfect. Okay, cool. So now we're in the root directory. Now do an ls real quick. And so to simplify this, we're going to do rm space dash rf, and we're going to delete two. We're going to delete, yeah, go ahead and, so delete the two, and you're going to do rm space dash rf. So dash rf, just put a dash, sorry, space, and then, I'm so sorry, space and then dash rf. Perfect. And then space, I'll do, yeah, go ahead and same thing. And then, so basically, we're going to do rm space dash rf, and then whatever the name of the folder is. For example, two. We're going to delete two. Cool. And now do an ls. All right, cool. So now we're going to do the same thing for test and test.rb. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now do an ls, and let's just make sure we have a clean slate. All right, cool. So now let's go ahead and do debating. Do mkdir. We're gonna make a folder and we're gonna call it practice. Yep, go ahead and click enter. Do ls. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do code or cd into practice now. All right, do code space period. Let's see if this works. If not, then we'll have to install one thing, but it's fine.
Hello? Sorry, Leon, can you
Yes.
repeat that?
Yeah, do code, CODE space period. All right, cool. Click enter. All right, cool, cool, cool. Okay, now open up a new terminal. And there's a reason why I'm having you do this, and I'll explain in a second. All right, cool. Do touch. We're gonna create a file, and we're just gonna call it. So just go and do space touch. I mean, not space, but just, yeah, touch, and then space, and then test.rb, or whatever it is that you want to call the file. Yeah, practice.rb. Cool. Now we can see there's your practice.rb. Now go ahead and click into it, and you can do whatever it is you need to do here. All right, cool. Go ahead and click on that X right there to get rid of that if you want. Oh, this one right here. All right, cool. And then in Ruby, it's going to be puts. Print is Python. Yeah, so you're going to print out those, and it's going to be puts, and then whatever it is here, actually. Make it easier for you guys to do this. Puts, 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 puts. Okay, cool. All right. So I updated the Slack message with exactly what you guys could paste in. So for you, Adrian, you're really, really close. Sorry, Kiko, I'm about to help you out real quick. For you, Adrian, you're really, really close. So yeah, exactly. So what you needed was you needed to put the quotes around the string. Perfect. So now you can run Ruby space, and then it's going to be whatever the name of the file is. So Ruby space. Yep. Perfect. There we go. Now we have it. And so, Adrian, for the reason why I had you do code space period is so that way you can open up this VS Code window within that practice folder that you just created. The other one was opened up in like your root directory or some other place, I don't remember where. And so I wanted it to specifically be within this practice folder. That's why I had you create the folder and then do code space period. Because for whatever reason, your file explorer wasn't showing the Ubuntu side for us to like tell VS Code, hey, go here. So I was like, okay, cool. So we're just gonna use the terminal to open it up manually. Yeah, that's what we did. All right, cool. Pico, looking at yours. Perfect. So I see you did CD tilde. That's perfect. And so here's what we're gonna do. So if you do an ls real quick, It looks like there's nothing in here. Go ahead and just do ls. All right, cool. That's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a folder. I'm not sure where this folder lives, but this folder or this file that you created here, or do actually it looks like it's not saving. Do Control S. That white dot there means that the file is not saved. So do Control S. Is it Control? Yeah, it's Control S, I think, to save. Okay, cool. So now go ahead and click on this three dots and open up the terminal. All right, do ls again. Yeah, do ls one more time. Sorry. Let's see if it created this file in there. Okay, it's fine. So this file, I don't know where it's at, and it's not really important for us to find it right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing that I just had Adrian do. Down here in the terminal, you're gonna do mkdir make directory down here in the terminal. And then space. So mkdir space, and then it's going to be whatever the name of the folder is. For example, practice. So mkdir, we go ahead and do, instead of er. Oh wait, yeah. Go ahead and use the left arrow. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to click, unfortunately. Perfect. Now click, oh no, so delete the .rb. So this is going to be a folder, not a file. So we're going to delete the .rb. So dir stands for directory, and we're going to create a folder technically. All right, cool. Click enter. Now do ls. Perfect. So we have a practice folder. So now go ahead and cd into that practice folder. CD stands for change directory. So we're going to go cd space and then whatever the folder is that we want to go into. Perfect. So now the next thing I want you to do is do code space period. If this doesn't work, then there's one thing that I'll have you install, and it'll take like whatever, a minute or two. But let's just try it out. Do no, and then I'm gonna slack you a command to run. Give me one sec. Let me grab this. Windows. Where's it at? Code space period right here. Where's it at? Not this guy. Use code. Use code. Code space period. Here we go. I'm gonna slack it to Kiko and Slack. You're gonna run this. Go ahead and run those commands. And then after that, you're gonna run these commands. And that should install it for us. Do Control C. Control C like gets rid of that line or like goes to the next one. Cool. So now you can grab that thing again. All right, cool. Yeah, go ahead and click enter. Yeah, go and type your password. We'll give this a second. And then after that, then you can do the next one. And then while that's running, let me grab this. Where's that? Okay, cool. So Kiko, what I'd like for you to do now is we're gonna go ahead and close this VS Code window out. Like, go ahead and click the button on the top. Okay, cool. And then go ahead and open up open up any terminal you want. It doesn't matter which one, Ubuntu or whatever. Sorry. Go ahead and or could you share your screen real quick? Sorry. All right, cool. So now do an ls. Perfect. Do cd practice to go into the practice folder. Cool. Now do code space period. Hopefully it doesn't bring up that thing that I did last time. Choose the Visual Studio Code most of my frequent files. Do know, I don't, I'm gonna do some research for this. I found that some Windows computers, so it's gonna open up the Windows or like this Linux version of VS Code and it's not the same. It's like worse. I don't know why some Windows does and some Windows doesn't. I'm gonna do some research on this. I guess an easier, maybe it'll work for you. Hopefully it'll work for you. The reason why with Adrian we had to do this way is because when he opened up Explorer, it wasn't giving us the option to open up the Ubuntu side. And so for you, I guess the thing I'm gonna ask you to do is open up Explorer. And then from there, we're gonna look for where it says like the Penguin or Ubuntu or whatever, something like that. And so then we're going to manually open. So like go ahead and open up VS Code. You're going to do open folder. And then specifically we're looking for that we're going to look for this practice folder basically that we just created.
Sorry for that command you had him do. What does that do actually? The code space period.
Yeah, yeah. So it basically opens up wherever you are in the terminal, like whatever folder you're in, it'll open that up within VS Code. Um, yeah, or do click on the three things over here. I don't know if that'll be different, but we're just gonna try it out. Go to open folder. We're gonna go open folder. Yeah. And then scroll down to the bottom. Dang, where is it? I swear. Maybe try clicking this PC. There should be like an Ubuntu thing. Maybe type in Ubuntu or something up here. Where would it be? Enter. If it shows up. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think of where else to look. Let's
I have
do
Ubuntu. I just don't know where the file. Should I go to downloads? No.
uh like on most people's Windows laptops that when I've been messing with this, like it literally like there's like a penguin here. So maybe try clicking into there and let's see if we can find it. I'm not sure. Like there's like a penguin at the bottom that shows like, oh, this is the Ubuntu side. Go to
Yeah, so for mine, I tried following through. There's a penguin, but it says the Linux.
Linux. Okay, maybe type in Linux up there. I was like, does it say Linux or does it say Ubuntu? I forgot.
Yeah, it's like basically right under the network on my end.
Dang, why does it not show for you though?
Oh no, sorry, not
Okay.
like in network, but like it's there's three.
Under
There's this PC network and then Linux. Like
yeah,
all
see,
three
I
are
don't know
showing.
why.
I downloaded it. I don't know.
Let's
If I
see.
go to like my Windows like command thing, it everything's right there.
Yeah,
Except
no, I
me.
believe you. Um, let's see. I'm gonna look something up.
So I'm just gonna grab a drink real quick.
Yeah. Actually, while I'm taking a look at this, we won't take too much longer, maybe like 15, 20 minutes, but we can go in. Why don't we take a 10-minute break? Because it's roughly when we would do that anyway for practice. And we can come back at like 6:06 past, and then I'm gonna look into stuff up anyway for you guys. You guys take a break while I look this up.
Copy. Sounds good.
All right. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So to continue where we left off, um, Kiko, I'm gonna have you try this thing. So I slapped you a command. You could run that in your terminal. I'm gonna try to fix it so that way you can run code space period because it works with Adrian. Ron, I haven't checked if it works with you, but I'll check in a second. But I want to get you set up with it. You're gonna go ahead and run that command. And then while you do that, let me go ahead and turn the light on. It's so dark. And then after that, okay, cool. Cool. Wait for a second. Okay, do CD space tilde. Do CD space tilde. Perfect. Do ls, CD into practice.
Say that one more time. CD into.
Yeah, into just go into that folder basically. Practice.
Oh shit!
All good, all good. Look like you just gotta click into the terminal again. Do
What the
escape.
fuck?
It's like trying to do like I don't know, it's like highlighting or something. I'm not sure what I see that. It's like drawing.
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh,
Hold
oh,
up.
I'm not sure. It's like you're on like paint or something.
Dude, I don't know what I pressed.
Okay. Not gonna lie to you guys, this is why I like Macs. It's all the same for Macs, I swear.
Fudge. Oh, there. Okay.
There you go. Cool, cool, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
And
shit
then
on my screen
practice.
now.
I don't know. Hopefully it goes away. Okay, cool. Now do code space period. Let's make sure this works. Please don't prompt us. All right, cool. So it should have opened up another VS Code window. If it did, go ahead and close this one out and then open that other one up and share your screen for that one.
Another instance code is running but not responding.
Is giving
Okay.
you an error?
It gave me two prompts. So the host, WSL local host, was not found in the list of allowed hosts. Do you want to allow it anyways?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there, opened up a new one.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and close this one out and open that one out. Yeah, don't save, it's fine.
You made him open up or look for the file, right?
No, no, no. Okay, so this is perfect. So this is exactly what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and so type in WSL to um, turn it on, I guess, whatever. And so all we did was we created this practice folder, which is exactly what I wanted. And so now you're gonna do down in here, you can do touch space and then whatever you want to call it, practice.rb, whatever it is. So touch is basically creating a file. mkdir make directory, that's creating a folder. So touch is create a file. Perfect. So now do ls. Okay, cool. So click up here and it should update. We should see that practice.rb. Why do we not see it? Okay, try clicking that plus icon. Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah, try clicking new file there. Okay, do like test.rb. I wanna see what's gonna happen here. Because it should, so when you created that there, it should like populate here. I don't know why it's not. On the phone, whatever, that's fine. Do ls down here. I want to see if it shows test.rb. Or are we in a different place again? Okay, go and click enter. So there's the test. I don't know why practice. It's like your VS Code is like, it's like out of sync. Like obviously we can see that we created both of these. I don't know why only one of them is
Yeah.
showing. Whatever, it's fine. It's not important for now. So now what I'd like for you to do here is go ahead and go to Slack and then basically grab what I put under print out the following on the 4 line or whatever, print out the following on 4 lines. And you can just copy and paste that directly into there.
So sorry.
Cool. And so now go ahead and yeah, you can change name to Kiko or Francisco or whatever. And then from there, you're going to go into the terminal and we're going to run this file. Cool. Go ahead and click delete real quick just to make sure that, yeah, okay, cool. So now go ahead and now down here to run this file. So you can just leave that up there. So down here, you're just going to type in Ruby because we're using the language Ruby and then space. So you're going to type Ruby space and then the name of the file. So for example, test. Actually, before we do it, actually, I can see it didn't save. So do Control S to save the file. Okay, cool. Now down here, now you can run Ruby space test.rb. Okay, so do Ruby space dash v. It looks like we need to dash v. I mean, actually, it's saying command not found anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna slack you a command. Looks like we have to. I don't know why, but it's like we might have to like reinstall it for some reason. Let me do this. Your setup. Install Ruby. We have that. Could you do a brew space dash v? BREW, brew space dash v. And I want to verify something real quick. Okay, cool. Homebrew's installed. That's what I wanted to verify. So I'm going to slack you some commands and you're going to run this real quick. I'm not sure why we're having to redo it again, but it's okay. So you're going to run this command that I just sent you, brew install RBENV. So RBENV is a Ruby version manager. It's a way for us to change the different versions of Ruby.
Yeah.
Go ahead and run that first. Okay. While that's running, we'll let that run for a second. It might take like a minute or two. Ron, for you, does code space period work for you? And we can try it out.
Try.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick.
Yep. Perfect. And then Kiko, I see yours just finished running. So I want you to do Ruby space dash v one more time. If it says that thing, okay, cool. So what you're gonna run is here. I'm gonna give you your next command to run. You're gonna run this.
Did I not install Ruby?
I swear you did, but I don't know why it's saying you didn't. Let's do this. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, run this command, source zshrc. So this basically reloads your terminal to make sure that it should fix this. Okay, Ron, I see you're getting that same thing, so I'm gonna have you run this command. So do no, Ron, for you. And then I'm going to share this command for you to run. Give me 1 second. All right, going back and forth. Okay, Ron, you can go ahead and run that, and that should fix that issue. That's what fixes it for Kiko. And then for you, Kiko, okay, yeah, those are whatever. I'm disregarding those for now. Let's see. So I want you to do RBENV space, and then it's going to be version. So I want to make sure that RBENV is installed. So it's going to be RBENV just like that. Space, and then dash dash. One more, and then perfect, and then version. Yep, go ahead and click enter. Okay, cool. So we have RBENV installed. And so the next thing that I'm going to have you run is RBENV space install space after install. And then it's going to be, let's do space and then 3.3.4. So you have to, we'll give it a version. So go ahead and just click the up arrow. The up arrow is going to recycle the command that you just ran. Cool. And then do 3.3.4. Okay, go ahead and click enter. Yeah, we're going to run it again. We want to install it again because it was saying it wasn't installed. So we're going to do it again.
So yes.
So go ahead and do yeah. Okay. Cool. While that's loading, that'll take a couple minutes for sure. Ron, I see your screen. Could you CD into one of those folders? Any one of them, it doesn't matter. Perfect. Do code space period. Nice. Okay, that should have opened up another VS Code window specifically with that folder. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so code space period works for you. It works for Adrian, and it also works for you, Kiko, now. We're figuring out what's going on with your Ruby version for you, Kiko. And then, yeah, I think everyone else should be good. Okay, make a note. Yeah.
I think it's done, Leon.
No, it's still going. We'll see. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. We'll see this when it's done. We'll see this line. It'll do the tilde/practice once it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let it take its time. Okay, so in the meantime, I want to go through. Sorry, I know we're doing that for a little bit, so we're gonna let that load, and we'll catch you up on. We'll let you practice whatever it is that we're gonna go through right after this. So I want to show you guys one more concept just to, you guys have been hanging out. We're gonna go through conditionals. Let's do this. And then from there, I'll let you guys try it out. And then after that, then we can wrap it up. And yeah, we should be good to go. Let me go ahead and do this, this, this. We're going to go through a different concept real quick. Let's go through concatenation. Okay. So so far what we've went through is different data types and then printing something out. So the 4 different data types that we touched on are string, integer, float, and Boolean. String, again, is just a bunch of text. It's just words, or technically it's characters. An integer is a number, but it's a whole number. A float is also a number, but it's a number with a decimal. And then a Boolean is true or false. So a Boolean could also be puts false. So if I go Ruby practice.rb, we see there's false. And then the other thing, Actually, before we even get to that, let's go through a quick variable. I want to go through variables, and then the last thing we're going to go through is string interpolation slash or yeah, we can go slash concatenation. I think is it an E? I think it's an E. Yeah, it's an E. So these are the last two things we're going to go through. We'll go through conditionals Monday. Okay, so a variable. The idea with a variable is we want to be able to assign some word. It could be word, it could be test, whatever it is, a value. And where this is going to come into play is like, let's say that we want to use this same value in multiple different places. That's where we're going to use a variable. So that way, in all of those different places, we're just going to type out this single word, for example, and that will equal whatever variable, whatever value it was that we originally set it to. And if we wanted to change it, we don't have to go to all five of those places, for example, to change it. We change the one variable up here, and that'll change everything below it. So for example, if I go name equals Leon, so name equals Leon. So now the word name or this variable name equals the string Leon. And so if I go puts name, and I'm actually going to go ahead and comment all of this out. So to comment a bunch of lines out, I can highlight them all and I'm going to do command question mark, and that comments it all out. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to run Ruby practice.rb, and we can see it prints out Leon. That's because I assigned the value of the string Leon to the variable name. And so now, as many times as I want to use this, I can just continuously print it out. And if I was to change it to, let's say, Matt or whatever it is, now all of these values are effectively Matt now. And so this is one of the huge things with variables, is if we want some value to be used multiple different times, we're going to more than likely assign it to a variable. So that way, in this scenario that we want to change it for whatever reason, we're able to change it one time, and then it changes everything. And so that's kind of one of the big ideas with a variable. And so we can do for all of these words, for any data type, we can assign it a variable. So for example, I can do number equals 10. And then I can do, let's go price equals 9.99. And I can go like, is raining equals true. And so now if I print all this stuff out, I'm going to go puts name, I'll do puts number, puts price, puts is underscore raining. And I'm going to now run this. Oh, sorry, run this. Now we can see Matt, 10, 9.99, true. And the other thing that we can do to test what type of data type it is we can do, so in Ruby or in programming, there's this idea of a method. A method is like some sort of code that someone wrote, whether it's us or someone else, that we can run to basically use the logic or use the code that they wrote. So if I add period class to the ending of name, no longer am I printing out name. I'm going to print out what type of class or what data type name is. And so it should say string because name up here, I set it to be a string. So if I run this again, we see now it says string. And so if I add dot class to all of these, dot class, dot class, dot class. So now it should say string, integer, float, Boolean. If I run it, string, integer, float, and it says true class, but this is Boolean. That's what that means. It's a little bit different for true and false. And so this is a way that we can verify what type of data type or what class it is that these variables are, I guess, in a sense. Cool. Any questions on this so far? All right, cool. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to touch on was this idea of string interpolation or concatenation. And so what this basically is it's a way for us to put two different strings together. We basically want to do like addition on strings in a sense. So for example, let's say I have name. I'm going to use all of these variables. So name, number, price, and is raining. So let's say, and I want to change these. I want to change this to name, age. I'm going to change this to Leon. Let's say 26. I'm gonna say whatever. Let's just keep that at price. We can keep that as true, whatever. So I'm gonna go puts, and then I'm gonna create a string. So I'm gonna say Leon is 26 years old, and he went to the store and bought something for 9.99 because it's raining. Sorry, the sentence doesn't really whatever. It doesn't really make too much sense, but I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing after this. So I'm going to run this file and I'm going to go Ruby practice.rb, and it says exactly this. It says exactly what I told it to say. Because this stands for puts string, and here's the string that I'm telling it to put or print out. And so, but however, like what if I wanted to change this to math or whatever it may be? This is where it's not really straightforward. I would have to like if this was in multiple, like if I had like this like three times, I'm gonna have to go here and I'm gonna change this math, 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 which really isn't ideal. That isn't like has to be a better way we can do that. And so the way that we can do that is by using interpolation or concatenation. These are two different ways that we can kind of handle this. And so the first one we'll go through is concatenation. Concatenation. So the idea of concatenation is we're gonna go puts and let's say name plus, and then we're gonna go is 26 years old. Or we can, yeah, we'll just do this for now. So now if I run this, we can see Leon is 26 years old. Perfect. If I change name to, let's go Adrian, for example, run this again. Now it says Adrian is 26 years old because we're doing concatenation and we're adding the name to this string. So we're basically combining two strings together. So that's concatenation. One thing with concatenation that you have to kind of keep in mind is that if you need a space, you have to explicitly say you need a space. If I didn't put this space here, if I'm going to delete that space and I'll comment this line out and I'm going to run this again. We'll see that it says Adrian is 26 years old, but there's no space there. With concatenation, you have to explicitly say, hey, put a space there, which to me, I don't really care for. So a cleaner way to do that is with something called interpolation. Interpolation. I don't need you guys to memorize these names, by the way. It's more of a concept more than anything. So now, instead of doing that, what I can do is I'm going to go, so in Ruby, to interpolate something, you can go within a string, within quotes, basically, you can go hashtag, and then it's going to be curly bracket, curly bracket. And so we can see the syntax highlighting here is different. It's not like a regular string where it's like that orangish, brownish, or whatever color that is. So basically, this is a way for us to write a variable or write Ruby code within a string. So now I can just go name, and then I can just continue, is 26 years old. So if I run this again, cool, it says Adrian is 26 years old. To me, this reads a lot nicer. I don't have to worry about the space, etc. So to me, this is a lot easier to do. It's just cleaner. Some people might prefer this. Everyone that I've talked to me, and to me especially, I prefer this. But it's good to know both because they're kind of important concepts to kind of understand. And so this is concatenation and interpolation for us to basically create a string that's somewhat dynamic. And what I mean by dynamic is we're not hard coding the value here. Depending on what name is, this is going to change to be whatever. For example, if I change it to Kiko, now we run it, now it says Kiko. If I changed it to Ron, and I run it, now it's Ron, etc. And so that's the idea with variables and with concatenation and interpolation. Questions, comments? All right, cool. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys one last exercise for the day. And basically it's going to do some concatenation and interpolation and try it out for yourself. And variables and to set some variables. And then from there, then we'll start to wrap up and let you guys go. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys this code first. Go to Slack. So, go into exercises. Exercise. Set take the values that you printed above in the first exercise and assign them to variables. And then from there, print those variables out. And then after that, I want you to print out what type of class or data type each variable is. And so I kind of show you guys exactly that. So here, so basically you're going to take the value, for example, these, instead of putting puts, you're going to put sentence or whatever. You can change it to name. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you're going to put some variable equals, and then this string, for example, some variable equals 100, etc. Pretty much exactly like what I'm doing here. And then from there, I want you to print those variables out by doing puts, and then whatever it is that the variable is named. And then after that, you're going to print out what type of class or data type each variable is by doing puts, the variable name, dot class. And then finally, then the next thing is you're going to do string interpolation. And then finally, use string concatenation to print out a full sentence using all of those variables. And then lastly, use string interpolation. Interpolation. Cool. Example. Okay, cool. So you guys are good to share your screen and try that out. And after this, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And then Kiko, I'll help you out with that. So while they're working on that, we can get you set, make sure you're set up as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. So Kiko, the next thing that I want you to do is RBENV space global space 3.3.4. So basically you're saying, hey, my entire system use this version of Ruby. So yeah, global space, and then the version that you just installed, 3.3.4, for example. Okay, perfect. And now so you can do Ruby space dash V. The command Ruby not found. Okay, what is this? Why is this going on? Let me hold up in 1 second. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Let me look up this. Why does it keep saying? All right. Hey, Kiko, could you do command or do control K? That should clear. We're gonna clear this whole thing. I want to see something. Is it control K or command K? Maybe just type in the word clear. Type in the word clear and click enter. All right, cool. So now I want you to do cat space.
Say that one more time.
Go ahead and type in the word cat, C-A-T, space. And then it's going to be tilde slash, no space. So delete, yeah, slash dot ZSHRC. ZSHRC. Perfect. Click enter. All right, cool. And then could you copy that whole thing and send it to me? I want to take a look at what's in there. Yeah, so go ahead and scroll to the top. There might be a little bit more above it. Yeah, we're going to go all the way to the top. All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to clean this up. So this is the error that you're getting when you first open the terminal. It's because there's some stuff in here, and I'm just going to clean it up now because it's giving us issues anyway.
Oh, sorry, trying to right click.
Now you're good. Try a Control C.
There.
It might be easier for Control C.
I'm gonna send it to you on Slack.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay.
All right, cool. Uh, Let me fix this file. Okay, I'm going to give you some commands to run, Kiko. You can run this all at one time. This is one whole command. It looks like a lot. And then after that, provided that passes, then we're going to do this. And the last one that we're going to do is this.
Am I clearing my terminal?
Yeah, you can. So that clear just basically just gets rid of the text that's there. It doesn't do anything functionally. It's just a visual thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first batch, I'm gonna copy all of it and run it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So basically, we're going to clean up your ZSHRC. So what ZSH is kind of like, it's your shell. It's like what terminal configuration you're using. And so the ZSHRC is basically the file that tells your terminal like how to be set up. And so that's really what we're doing is I'm fixing up that ZSHR that file because there was an issue with it. There were some issues with it. Cool. So that didn't error out. Perfect. So let's go ahead and
Hold on. I don't think it copied everything.
I think
No, because when I
you
threw
can
it
run
in,
it again.
yeah.
You can try running it again. I think when you paste it, it like trims it a little bit. Like it doesn't show you everything, which is okay if it does that. Very cool. And then while you're doing that, I'm just gonna take a look at Agent and Ron's screen real quick. All right, cool. Okay, cool. So Ron, I'm looking at your screen. So I want you to take a look at this error. One thing I kind of want to emphasize to everybody here is one thing that will help you guys a lot is getting used to reading errors. And so right in this terminal, we can see there's an error right here. So it says in practice RB line 20. So that colon 20 is saying at line 20, there's an uninitialized constant Ron. So it's like, hey, basically what this is saying is what is Ron? Ron right now, basically it's saying you need to put it in quotes. That's what it's saying. If something isn't in quotes, then it should be a variable or some sort of thing. And technically that word Ron doesn't exist in the code. Like that's not something that is a variable. So it's like, hey, that doesn't exist. So now go ahead and go down here, go back to the terminal. And so I just want you to click into the terminal and then click the up arrow. Cool, click enter. All right, cool. So now we have our next error. So undefined method is for main. So basically we need to put an underscore there and we need to put an underscore there. Because it's like, hey, like hot, right now we're setting hot equals to true, but what is is? It's like it doesn't make sense to the code. It needs to be an underscore to
Oh,
kind of connect them together, basically. So yeah, so it's is underscore hot.
I
Perfect.
got.
And then do the same thing. Yep, do the same thing there. And then just delete that space. Yep. Cool. Now, once again, click the up arrow. So the up arrow allows you to recycle the commands that you ran.
All right.
Cool. There we go. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then
Oh, so
Adrian,
it does.
I see yours is good. Cool. Let's see, Adrian. How are you going to fix this? So Adrian, how would you, because you put cheap there, how would you change that to cheap? Like, how would you make it cheap? I want to say, well, it's cheap. It doesn't make sense, but it's what you had. So I want to make that cheap. How would that be? How do we change that?
Uh,
There's a bunch of different ways we could. What do you think, though?
just gonna put this.
Okay,
Yeah.
try it. I mean, try it out. Let's see what happens. Cool. So let's read this error. Let's read this error before we go up there. It says practice RB line 5, undefined local variable or method cheap for main. So why is cheap erroring out, but Adrian isn't? Because theoretically they look kind of
Oh,
similar.
oh, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, run it again. There you go. So for your original example, you could have kept it with is raining. You just had to is a boolean. You wouldn't wrap in quotes. That's why true and false. You won't do that. However, when you change it to cheap, you just needed to wrap it in quotes, and then it would have worked. Same thing. Cool. All right, you and Ron can keep messing with it. Sorry, Kiko, I'm back with you now. Uh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and click enter. What happens when you do that? Go ahead and go to the bottom, scroll down. Is there anything there? Okay, cool. So go ahead and do the next command. Nothing's erroring out there, so let's go and do the next command. All right, cool. So now what I want you to do, Kiko, is run ruby space test.rb. So basically I want you to run this file.
Ruby base test.
Bam, there you go. So we had to like
Solid.
reinstall Ruby and stuff, and we fixed up the configuration. So theoretically now you shouldn't have that error anymore. Those issues.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'll give you a little bit of time. I'm gonna give you guys like 5 more minutes or so to mess around with the stuff I shared in exercises, and then we'll start wrapping it up because we're already going over the time that I said. So I don't want to take too much of your time.
So I can start running the variables straight from here, or should I start a new terminal?
No, you can run it straight from here. Yeah, you'll almost for what we're doing, you'll never have to open up a new terminal. Everything you're doing can be done right in here. And so actually, so yeah, I see what you're okay. So all of the code that you're going to be running or that you're going to be writing is going to be up here in the code editor
Oh,
section.
that's right.
The only thing that you're doing down the terminal is only to run commands. So in the terminal, you're just going to be like,
Oh,
hey, run this file. That's what you're going to be doing up here or down there.
got you.
Yep. And the other thing I didn't explicitly say, but for everybody, is all variables for now are going to be lowercase. So we're going to go ahead and change all variables to be lowercase if they're uppercase.
Okay, I see.
Yep. Uppercase variables are kind of a little bit different. Uppercase words in Ruby are different. That's why. Cool. While you guys are doing that, I'm just gonna get a quick drink of water, and yeah, you guys can continue. Adrian, you're super close. So you can go ahead and try this out. Actually, I want you to. You can try different things.
Yeah. Huh?
Uh, um, okay. Adrian, what I want you to try, leave it that. So after the E and age, I want you to do dot period right after that E and age.
Period? Okay.
Do a period, and then it's going to be no. So go and go and leave everything there. Do Command Z to undo that off right after the E. Yep, and do period to. So no, go ahead and just do after the period to dot to underscore s, and then go ahead and whatever delete. You can put everything back, whatever, and then do like a plus or whatever, and then whatever you were doing. I think this will fix it. And I'll explain why if it fixes it, if it does work. All right, cool. So basically what's happening, if we can see this error right here. And actually, if everybody could maybe take a look at Adrian's screen real quick, just for like 1 minute, and then we'll start wrapping up. So Adrian was getting an error when he was trying to do some concatenation, and it says practice RB line 18. So that's it telling us where exactly to look. So perfect. And then it's like, okay, so we're getting no implicit conversion of integer into string. Basically, it's saying we're trying to combine a string with actually age is an integer with another string. So it's like saying, hey, you cannot add strings with an integer. There's no, you haven't, you need to convert it first. So .toS is a built-in Ruby method where we can basically say, hey, change whatever this is to a string, to s, to underscore s stands for to
Um,
string. So that's what we did is we converted age because age up there is an integer to a string. So that way it can be properly concatenated with everything else, with all the other strings. So that's what we had to do. And there's a bunch of built-in Ruby methods, and we're going to go through a lot of them. So don't even worry about that. But yeah, so you're good to stop sharing your screen, and we're going to start wrapping up now. Yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, this is Ruby. I'm really happy that we kind of went through all that. Everyone should be at a good spot with being able to run the file, at least understanding how to open the file, run the code, etc. And so that's really good news. I think going into Monday, we're looking really good, and we're actually going to take a step back and we'll re-go through variables, re-go through interpolation, all that kind of stuff before we move on to all the different stuff. Yeah, so this is kind of you guys officially wrote your first kind of program, even though it's really simple. Congratulations on that. I think for real, it's really, really cool. Your first one within the class, at least. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions, any comments before I kind of let you guys go?
I have one.
Yeah.
I know we're eventually going to be doing a capstone project,
Hmm.
and I guess is it safe to say that we can just start early already, just to think about what we want to do?
It doesn't hurt to think about what you want to do. Yeah. You can start if you wanted to start thinking about it now. So the last 2 weeks of the class is going to be capstones. That's where basically, for the most part, I'm going to be giving you guys time to just build. And it's going to be based on everything is that we've learned throughout the class through the first 14 weeks. That's going to be kind of what you'll be using to then build your project. But yeah, so if you want to start thinking about it now, by all means, feel free.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, great question. Any other questions before I go through a couple things and wrap it up? All right, cool. So just a reminder, starting Monday. So Monday we'll be meeting, and the Zoom link will stay in the Slack channel. Just to show you guys one more time. Let's do this. General. So in the general channel, you go to bookmarks, and then there's the Zoom link. So the Zoom link will always be there. The resources, and then the recordings. If you guys click this, I updated the last 3 days, the last three of them, and today's one will be right under it. And so all the recordings will be there as well. But yeah, so starting Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All I ask is that you guys just communicate. If something comes up and you're running late or whatever happens, just let me know. So that way we can account for it and be ready for it. And then let's see. Only other thing I wanted to ask quickly was, is everybody here okay with being, you guys aren't going to be posted on social media per se, but like, for example, I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram from the last class where we did like our own little avatars, and like when we had an in-person thing, we happened to take a picture of us all working. And so is everyone here okay with that?
I'm
All
cool
right,
with it.
cool. Cool. Just making sure. That's all I have. Yeah, congratulations, guys. We're pretty much done with pre-work, and we're gonna get started on Monday. I'm really excited, actually. We're gonna learn a lot, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what you guys build. Don't hesitate to reach out, and yeah, thank you guys. You guys have a great rest of your week and weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Okay.
All right,
guys.
thanks, Leon. Good night, guys. Take it easy.